welcome back to the Gloomhold map making series. Today we're likely going to just clean this whole section up. It was giving me a lot of strife with how I cut it, and it does look okay, but you can see how there's like these cuts and you can really tell where that geometry is. I don't really want to leave it that way. So we're gonna go ahead, go into edit mode, probably do it by, we can do it by vertice, I think. Basically though, we're gonna just dissolve the verts. These ones I might just delete. Okay. So now we're starting off pretty fresh. Unfortunately, this is missing a vert now too. I kind of went too overboard. That more or less fixes it. It's interesting that this is still considered individual faces. Oops, see now we're leaking over into that. Let's undo a little bit. Oh, I see. So really at this point, this is still jacked up. Is it jacked up over here too? Yeah, a little bit. Okay, well, good to know. What we'll go ahead and do is we should be able to repair it from this point and basically replicate that again. I messed it up all over the way over to here though. That's interesting. Shouldn't I be able to, oops. We're gonna do some cleanup. That wasn't right. So I'm missing a face here. No, that was not what I was meaning to do. What else am I missing? See, I don't get it. When you know what I mean? Like, this is not obviously one face. And I'm actually going to say just dissolve the face or delete the face. So now we have a bunch of geometry missing, which actually is fine. You can see though, there's all this data that I messed up. Interesting how I managed to do all that. But what we can now do is go into vertex mode, grab these 4 verts, and make a face. Because that's ultimately all we wanted, right? And kind of the same here. We're going to go ahead and just say delete faces. Because, well, no. The problem with deleting these faces, I want this to just be like cut right here. There. That's what I needed. Okay. So next, we're going to take these 4 verts. Make a face. Okay. Next, I'm gonna say it's a little gross to go all the way over here, but that's all right. Weird spot for vertex. There. Now we have a clean ground. And should be better. We'll do some quick UV editing. What I want is my camera to be here and this to do like a smart UV projection. And then scale this like so. That's looking a little better, you know? This one could actually be dissolved. I don't think that hurts anything over here. Oh, it does. Look at that. Look at this in general, though. Let's do this. We're going to knife here. And we're going to knife here. Oops. Okay. Now if I take you out, still getting weird issues, which is interesting. That feels a little better. Probably can do the same thing over here. Should be good enough-ish. You ideally, no. You K click, not Z. Okay. That should be better. some interesting geometry issues on this, but they all got fixed. Should be good enough to at least give the illusion. That's just ugly. But it's not really made to be seen. It's more just filler. You know? Is it because of how I'm doing this operation that we're getting these issues? Like, if I go back over here, and let's say I want to merge, oops. Do this. No. What is the merge faces? Blender merge faces. It's just F. Let's see when I do that, it is not kosher. How about merge edges? It's going to be a join operation. Control E. Bridge edge loops. I don't even see that option. You see what I mean? I want these. It's fine. It's just weird. Well, let's just do this. Not end of the world. It's just a little tacky looking. Good enough. Okay. So a little bit of a cleanup. But now, this guy, I don't like how stretched it is currently. There. I do need to make more textures. That is something I'm severely lacking on right now, but until I get a little bit farther ahead in my making of stuff, I'm not bothering too much. Cool. So we're going to go back to you, and we're going to edit your face here. Pretty much. We're just going to extrude you. Now the trick is we're actually going to move you out again, similar to last time. I think this time, just to simplify life a little bit, what we'll do is we'll extrude, and then we'll extrude again. And what this does is we'll extrude this out over to fall. But I should be able to, can this not be here for a second? Isn't there like a isolate? I don't think I can do that while I'm in that mode. There we go. 'Cause sorry, I need that view. All right. No. What are you doing? There. Edit these. Do a smart UV project. I'm in the wrong mode. So why are you doing weird things when I do that? Like these three verts, right? I want you guys to be I mean, it's fine, I think, because at least oop. Yeah, see, at least these two look uniform. And it's not end of the world. Nobody's going to notice this on the first drop. Okay, so we're going to assign you as rock falls. And we're going to assign, we're going to assign you as rock fall. Did that actually work, or what's going on here? Wait, what's going on? Now everything says rock falls. What? All right, let's test this. You are currently set to rock falls. That is not correct. Okay, everything's rock now. Now you, right here only, I want you to become rock falls. There we go. And then you as well, you become rock falls. Okay, in theory that fixed it. So next we're gonna take this face and we're gonna knife it. Come on. So we're gonna knife here, snap Z, and go to here. And the reason, because we're gonna extrude this, and we may as well do some loop cuts as well, actually. So loop cut, let's do a few. We'll do one here, we'll do one here, we'll do one about here, and one about here. And the reason is so now I can extrude you this way. And we can make it where you fall down and you're like in this pit and you have no idea where to go next. So, yeah. We can do something like this. And the idea being, so you fall down, you're in this pit, and you're just going to have options for exits, but you're not really going to know which way to go. So we're going to go ahead and extrude this down X a little bit this way, and then this extrude down Y, and this we will also extrude down Y. Okay. We can go ahead and solidify this area. I actually want to snap this edge by face. GY, there. Okay, and then we take this face and we extrude out the Z, and we're actually going to take the face and have it match. Okay. So basically, there'll be a drop. There's going to be all this geometry. I really should have cleaned up these faces with UV. But we can do that now. At least on this, like... you know. Okay. That works. Cool. And then we could just go ahead do something like this. Could have actually group selected that, but that's all right. But yeah. Cool. And all right, so you're in here. You fall down. Whoops, and then you go down here. And you're just going to be like in this maze and you're going to have no idea where to go. And I'll be putting enemies all around. I won't connect this just yet. I'm just going to give the illusion, at least, you know, on the map that these are connected. And maybe for the connecting, I can put a ladder. I like how I have a drop that's impossible to get back up and then a ladder after. That's like a troll, you know? I could make a way back up just by continuing down this route. That'd be cool. Why aren't these giving... Oh, that's why. That's fine. Good enough. This stuff isn't going to be looked at often anyways. But I do just at least want to, you know, give it a little TLC. Okay, so we're going to take this face and we're going to go ahead and extrude it even more down X. And this stuff, we're going to start doing some deviations. Probably make a bunch of enemies. What I kind of envision, let's go ahead and knife Z. And the same here. Because we're going to start doing some orientations again. So we're going to go back over here. We're going to go ahead and then, yeah, so we're going to extrude out the bottom to like here. And we're going to extrude out, we could actually just go ahead and extrude you out roughly the same as what the other walls are. Then take the top and extrude it up. We can match it. Okay. And the idea though is you get a split here. Why aren't you coming over here? There we go. We can do that. And we can go ahead and put a face loop on this. Like that. Right. This guy we can go ahead and extrude out as well. And on this side, similar ordeal. We could even just extrude this all the way over. Actually past this. Same with you. So now we have a little passageway for here. I should actually consider a roof, by the way. I know I've been doing a lot of this without ever bothering with a roof, and that might bite me in the butt later. I kind of like having detachable roofs, though, so I can navigate this easier. Because it's not like it's going to be super hard to cap this. You know, because technically what I can just do is like extrude you out, get off. Wait. You know, put this up like so, take a face, and just say extrude. Boom. We got a roof. You see what I mean? It's not that hard. Some of this might be a little harder, but honestly, I could do somewhat the same ordeal where I just extrude this ideally on the Z. Like that. And then we can just extrude over. Like this. And now we have a covered area. You see? So I can cap this at any point. And it's probably easier to do it after I'm done, so. Anyways, okay. I'm gonna add some variation on this part. Like, let's move it up actually. But yeah, you see how this is all drawn? This is gonna make it so enemies are gonna be a pain in the butt if you are running show EQ or something. You know what I mean? I've honestly not spent a ton of time in Blender. I'm going to get better and better. But you can see where this is getting more and more complicated and interesting, which is what I'm after, you know? And eventually I'm going to go through and do things like, you know, take this and like move it over like this, you know, just give it a little extra character. You know, mess with the grounds, just make it less, you know, perfect. Even though I don't think EQ does that often, so it's not like I have to. It's kind of one of the things I like about the fact EQ does all the things it does is that they took a lot of liberties because it was all about content. And I agree with that mentality, right? It's like, you don't need to like get all artsy and articulate about every single texture. You can get away with a lot. And people just don't care, right? They just care about content. They care about the churn than they do about how the churn looks. Yeah, there you go. A little texturing there. The drop should still be there. Let's go test it, actually. It's been a while since I actually went in game. I've spent like 30 minutes just priming things. And hey, Overloaded, how you doing, dude? Well, good morning. I guess I am your morning stream. All right, and I was testing some other sized NPCs. I think I fixed all the starting characters. I also fixed a lot of like how you zone and stuff when you begin. So this is getting more playable. It did not export, because if it did, this would have a roof. And this is all sorts of jacked up. Yeah, we're in a... Are we? What is going on? Yeah, you can tell this is old. Okay, so for some reason, my export didn't work. Let's verify that real quick. I know that this says error, but that's normal, unfortunately, right now. Let's go to Gloomhold. Am I in Gloomhold? Yes. Did the convert actually succeed? This looks all clean. So it moved it to out to Gloomhold, which you can see it was at 745. And which copy do I have? Gloomhold. Yeah, see, this was from yesterday. So my copier is broken. Somehow. Interesting. I think copy EQ works that. Huh. Well, for the time being, I can do it by hand. It's just going to get annoying if I have to keep doing it over and over. But that's interesting. I should actually expand, because I wrote all this, you know? I should expand it so I have another drop down that's like copy, you know, EQG to multiple directories or something. All right, so now you can see the roof. You can see what I mean about like just putting a little angle to it does help kind of the illusion. We know that this way is going to be safe, and you're going to be able to get right over to here, and you can drop down now, which before you could too. I kind of made this a little wide. I may shrink some of this. All right, so here's the moment of truth. Do I fall? Yes. There's the first pitfall that you're ever going to see, potentially. And I'm envisioning like putting NPCs all over in this area. I could shrink this. Like, I'm pretty sure lower Guck is not this wide, right? Like, this feels a little comfortable. Oh, apparently my false wall connector is off. Let's do like 30. Maybe that'll help me. Nope. 70. Let's try like putting you down a little bit. Yeah, we're still right on it. About 10. There. Well, except we're all right, so we can increase this by like 90, and let's do this like by 20. Nope. All right, fine. We'll go back to the bridge. And we'll fix this update. Because now the question is, can we make the jump, you know? All right. So false wall, you now are at 524, 0.27, and negative 52.2. All right. So we should not be able to jump that, actually. I mean to shrink it. Which might be a little bit of a pain. No, because what I can just do, go back to this view, come over to here. The false wall is, I believe, right here, okay? And right now, this is way too big of an area. So what we should just do is select this loop and move it off the X and just shrink it. It does mess with the textures a little bit, but I can fix that. Basically. Yeah, see, now it looks more uniform. It's not as obvious, you know? So right there, I made it significantly smaller. Hopefully that'll help making it possible, because I do want you to be able to get across if you're, you know, attentive. And yeah. What am I looking at right now? Let's get out of this area. See, this is why I don't like roofs. They just make everything a little bit more complicated to navigate. Okay. So we have our guy's about that big, right? That feels doable. That doesn't look very hard at all, actually. I feel like we should be able to make that no problem. Let's go ahead and re-export again. Fortunately, I have to exit the entire game to do that. And right now, I have to also copy this by hand. That's all right. Not super hard. So did you get the client overloaded? Are you now able to log in? Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll have to play with it later. It shouldn't be very hard for you to at least hop in and check stuff out. Yeah, no, dude, I understand. Not like I'm quite ready yet for anyone anyways. Okay. We're going to go back to the false wall. We're going to come over here. I haven't fixed these, obviously, but now... Oh, man, is it still difficult? It might be. Nope, it's doable. It's just not easy. Basically, okay. So yeah, basically, from here to about there is the drop. So, oh, maybe a little bit farther, but yeah. What's it look like from below? Yeah, you can see it more obviously from the ground. And there's tricks, you know, like if you technically walk around like this, you'd be able to find false walls, you know what I mean? But not a big deal. I just thought it's funny. Nobody's going to do that all the time. Anyways, the other thing is we need to test, oops, we need to not test that. We need to jump over it. We can make it, right? Jump. Nope. I got this. This is not an easy jump, apparently. Jump. Okay, I made it. I mean, it's doable. It's just, yeah. Anyways, so now you're coming down here. I feel like these corridors are too big. I should honestly, here. Or wait, Guck bottom. I want to see how the size compares. Actually, we're pretty close. You see what I mean? Like, this is about the size. The only difference is you notice how they do all this, like, you know, jagged edges and, you know, like the roof is rarely just flat. They do weird things. And that's no problem. I can do all that. It just keeps the terrain more interesting. It's funny because it's honestly like imperfections, but it does add character. Even like just, you know, recessing the walls like this and giving little pockets and yeah. But they have the culling issue. You can see it even right there, where you can look and you can see all the geometry and where all the NPCs are and everything, right? I don't have that issue because of the way I'm rendering, which isn't very optimal, but like if you did that same kind of ordeal and let's say you try to cheat this, you're just going to see walls. You see what I mean? You can see through, but all you can see is that there's another wall over there. So, but yeah, this is definitely really big. I think this size is not bad. So I could actually put like a pocket or something, you know, start doing little design tweaks. In fact, what I could probably do is take these faces and then go like GY. Ooh, that actually is not connected. That's fine. I can work with that, I think. No? Why aren't these connected? That's interesting. But you know, I was going to put a little recess here, similar to what we just saw. And something even as simple as this. We can snap this to an edge. And we can essentially simulate. There. But yeah, they ultimately are just doing weird things where like they will take a Z and like lift it up a little bit, which is no problem. We can do that too, you can see. And they're just adding character, basically. They rarely have like perfectly aligned roofs and stuff. But I can make that happen. I'm not going to mess with that stuff just yet until we get a little bit more confident about the size and geometry and, you know, design. Just because once you start adding all that stuff, you know, it gets a little bit more complicated to, you know, manipulate things. I think this maze I'm actually overall happy with. So I may actually start messing with it a little bit more. And there's a few ways we could mess with this. I have like a base that has a ton of geometry. What I could do to start is make some loop cuts. Ooh, that's interesting. Yeah, no worries, dude. This doesn't loop cut very well. That's all right. We can isolate this. Can we loop cut here? Honestly, I could just use a knife and just start doing stuff like this. Interesting. Why not? I'll just do this one thing and then it's like, doesn't work, of course. this works. So we can loop cut here. Can I get the center? I really want to loop cut the other way. Has to do with the ground. There we go. That'll work. Let's not snap. Okay. And what this does is as I work on this area, I believe this one I actually made so I can just hide it temporarily, which I'm very happy for. Okay, so what that does is when I'm in edit mode now, I don't need a good morning. Anyways, so we can do stuff like this now. And basically give it a little bit more character. You see what I mean? In fact, let's isolate again and just take a look how this is editing. We could probably add some more loop cuts. Doesn't want me to loop cut that area. Interesting. Must be just how that geometry is. Yeah, you can see there's a line here and it does not want to connect. But even just doing that, that's enough. I think it just has to do with how I did these walls, which is fine. It's interesting. I know there's a way, by the way, to add turbulence to a face. Gotta remember that though. Turbulence to faces blender. No. We have smooth, randomize. There we go. Kind of. Even just that, you see what I mean? Just adds a rocky surface. And it's going to mess up some of my geometry, but that's fine. You know, like right here, you've now lost some of your edges. But I can fix that pretty easily. EX, snap. GY, snap. GY, GX. GY, GX. But what this really did is you can see here. Hey, why aren't you snapping? I want you, oh wow. That actually is perfect. Just get over here. Same with you. Get over here. Okay, so what this did though is now it has a little extra turbulence. You know what I mean? It feels less like a, you know, predictable maze on the ground. It's a little bit more interesting, I guess. Some of these edges though are getting a little ambitious. But it just adds character because this is all supposed to be rocky, you know? This geometry got really jacked though. Can I snap to vertices, please? Let's just put you there, put you there. I mean, this is fine. Yeah, even something like that just helps give a little extra character. Oh, so this is the opening. There we go. That's kind of cool, actually, just how it, like, it's all deformed, but also, like, usable. Where's this vert? Give me you. Kind of like that. I'm not a giant fan of like how crazy the geometry got on this edge though. Like at least this rock. I mean, it looks kind of cool though. I do like the chaos of it, you know? Might do something like that though. And then this surface is relatively flat, which feels inconsistent after all the chaos of the earlier part. So let's have some fun with that. We're going to go ahead and go into edit mode. We're going to make some loop cuts. Arguably, we could subdivide this, but loop cuts work too. Pretty sure there's an option, by the way, when you loop cut. What's going on here? It's like hard to there. We can do like 10. You know what I mean? Perfect. And then what I can do is randomize. Not too much. It's interesting that it's only randomizing, or is it randomizing the surface? I'm pretty sure it is actually. Yeah, we're good. I like it. So let's get out of isolation mode. Let's see how this now looks. It does cause some weird artifacts on occasion, but it's also not horrible. What that does though is this part now is kind of unusable, unfortunately. We'll fix that though. The edging gets a little nuts, but we can kind of fix that. No, don't snap, just come down. There we go. I need to figure out that hotkey. It's been a while since I've used the snap hotkey, and I need to get used to it again. So go here and then take down Z, see? You go here and then go down Z. You go here and then take down Z. Because I do want an edge, you know? It's fine that it's randomizing inside, but you gotta have a little order. I don't even know what's going on over here. It's like the geometry. It's all sorts of jacked up right there. Well, we know that those two, I don't think those two actually connect. I think that's my real issue. There we go. A little bit more humane. And what we can also do, we just got to rein this in. We don't need it to be profusely sticking out. I could uniform a lot of this, but that works. I'm just filling in the holes on the edges. Trying not to make it too imperfect. Okay. I like it. It looks horrible, but intentionally horrible, I guess you could say. And these three guys, we can take their faces and we can move them up so that they aren't cutting. Then we can, oops, don't do that. What did I just do? What the heck? Okay. These, we want to go into edit mode, edge. Do something like that. You know? I don't know where my roof went. Oh, those were my original surfaces that I never use. I think maze, entrance maze has a hidden object the roof. Or where did the roof go? I used to have a roof for the upper half, and it just disappeared. What? I need to start merging some of these pieces, but there it is. So you actually should be part of entrance maze. There we go. And of course, maze upper we could jack up later, but I think this should be enough. Yeah, I like now how everything is more chaotic. Let's test it in game. Let's go back to the bridge. And reload so we can see all the new geometry. All right, let's do this. Yeah, see, this already feels, it does technically simplify this step, but I can edit that, you know? But you can feel now when you're just walking around, the geometry is a lot more rough and unsettled. That's an issue. That's okay. We can clean that stuff up. That's an issue too. This part looks good. And a little bit of hole there. I mean, the holes aren't end of the world either, though. But they definitely add character, you know? Can you make it through? It almost feels like you can, you know? All right, let's get back to the bridge and just go upstairs. Which now you can go upstairs from any part of the outside. Interesting. That part needs to be cleaned up. Now that there's a ledge here, it definitely feels more prompting to jump it. But yeah, we're getting closer. Obviously, these walls need to be cleaned up still. But we're getting there. And I'm going to die. Back to the bridge, please. Thank you. Can you make it from here? Nope. And yeah, you can see all this stuff right now, but when I'm done, this will all just be like solid rock formations. Even this, where it kind of just has the, you know, big rock right now, this would become something of significance. And eventually there'll be a bunch of these connecting bridges and stuff to get you all over the place. I'll have to think about how we do, ooh yeah, see, like that's gross. How we're gonna do NPC cleanup. If an NPC goes to a different region, you know, how do we best address that? I might use the mechanics that Shunderrock Springs used, where basically if a NPC goes a certain location, it gives up. That might make sense. Okay, why is this so dang flat? Let's isolate it for a sec. There is one way inside. That's the issue. Snap to here, go down. There we go. This guy can actually go down a little bit. Just gonna clean up this edge. I don't want it to be too chaotic on the absolute edges, you know? Especially like this. This is weird. So we have, this is part of the wall. We can go ahead and move you out. This part needs to be flush. That works. This part, that cleans that up pretty good, you know? Even though you should be closer to that. All right, so we got some edging cleaned up. That feels a little better. All of you are too high now. About there, should fix that. All right. And that's just the ground coming out of the bottom. Same with that. We'll fix that stuff later. Kind of cool having a little edge there. I don't think it'll cause issues. We'll find out later though. And we may rough up this area too, but I'm leaving it alone because I'm not fully sure yet what the starter hub's going to look like. So work in progress. This thing, I don't like how it sticks out. Probably the easiest way, oops, why do I keep pressing 3 at the wrong time? But yeah, even something like that should help. This part needs some TLC. I didn't end up liking how that brown stuck out. Can I get this a little cleaner? That should work. I think that'll be all right. So yeah, you basically have this little walkway, and then you have this little area, which we'll probably clean up this stuff later. Especially like that right there, it's collisioning. That works. It doesn't have to be perfect, you know? mainly just looking to add chaos and make it feel more and crafted, I guess you could say, which it kind of is, right? Now, we really didn't add a lot of content, but that was an hour and 10. We cleaned up the false drop. We cleaned up, or we started adding here. I'll probably make a little bit more content here in a sec. This kind of reminds me of a lower Guk vibe, by the way, right here. That's what I'm kind of going for. I could always add a bridge here if I want, but basically I got to think of how I'm going to make it where this is punishing, but not like overly punishing when you get over here, because this will be like 3+, 3 to 7, and I'd rather keep it easier. And by the way, I will eventually have open areas. I'm going to start with the dungeon crawl just to sort of give the vibe. And then potentially down here even, like when you get to the bottom and you're like level 10-ish, I could make it where everything... Keep pressing 3 at the wrong time. There. Anyways, make it where... everything is more open-ended and a little bit friendlier for casters and people that kite stuff, you know? Like, you're gonna hate life upstairs because there's just not enough range to like cast spells properly and stuff. But then as you get farther down, I'll give you a little bit more freedom. Feel that's reasonable. Just playing around for a sec while I end up the stream. Cleaning up some geometry. Just a little bit, nothing crazy. Cool. And yeah, these cubes right here are just blockers. They actually don't have a purpose. Technically, you could clip through this, I think. No, actually, it's considered a false area. So that means I could actually cut and make these into rooms if I wanted to, which is cool. But they also can just be fillers. So yeah. Cool, cool. All right. I think we're done. Thank you for watching, and have a good one. Take care.